So after finishing chapter number 1 and learning almost all the definitions given in the Companies Act, we will go ahead with chapter number 2, which deals with the incorporation of the company and incidental thereto, matters which are incidental thereto. Now just remember, this is not just chapter 2 of your syllabus. This is also chapter 2 of the Companies Act. Okay. Now remember, Companies Act is divided into sections, 470 sections, and then sections are clubbed together, and then they are bifurcated into chapters. Like you have chapter 1, which was preliminary. We have chapter 2, which is for the incorporation. Then same way we'll have chapter 3, which is for the allotment of securities and prospectus and all those matters. Then we will have chapter number 4, which will be for share capital and debentures. So the same way, your 10 chapters which are there, you'll be studying it in the same sequence. Also remember one more thing. When you write chapter 2 of the Companies Act, you don't write this numerical 2, you write it in Roman number 2. So this is going to be chapter number 2. This chapter number 2 starts from section number 3 and it ends on section number 22. So just remember, this chapter 2, this starts from section number 3 and it ends at section number 22. Okay, section 3 to section 22. In between you have a new section, right? So 3, now we have 3a also, then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we have a new section, section 10a. 11 is omitted. Then we have 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and till 22 we have these sections. I think we'll require some 2 to 3 lectures to complete, minimum of 2 to 3 lectures to finish entire chapter number 2. And let's begin from your module. By the way, what I have done here, this is a mixture of your module as well as the Bare Act. And like I said, you don't have to refer to your module also. If you want to go and brush up your module, that's a separate thing. But otherwise, just understand that your module is being taken care here, the matters from your module. And where I feel your module is not good, or let's say I should take apt reference of the Bare Act, I've included the Bare Act. जहां जहां पे भी बेयर एक्ट का जरूरत है, मैंने वहां पे बेयर एक्ट को इंसर्ट किया है। और हम चल किसके हिसाब से रहे, हम मॉड्यूल के हिसाब से ही चल रहे, लेकिन कंटेंट हम मॉड्यूल का नहीं उठा रहे, कंटेंट हम बेयर एक्ट से उठा रहे। अब बेयर एक्ट में केस स्टडीज और जजमेंट्स गिवन नहीं है, वो मैंने आपके मॉड्यूल से यहाँ पर स्लाइड में क्रॉप कर दिया है। सो यू हैव टू रेफर दिस ओनली, इट विल बी ऑल गुड, राइट? नाउ दिस इज द लर्निंग आउटकम जो आपको मॉड्यूल के अंदर बताया, दैट व्हाट यू नीड टू नो। सो एट द एंड ऑफ दिस चैप्टर यू विल बी एबल टू, सो बेसिकली यू विल बी टेस्टेड विथ what, explain the formation and incorporation of a company. So private company, public company, one person company, and section 8 company. So basically you will learn how to incorporate a company, whether it's a private company or it's a public company, then how to incorporate a OPC, and then how to incorporate a section 8 company. आपको ये देखना है. After that we'll start and studying about the memorandum and articles of association. We'll also know the effect of the registration. So these two are topics connected. After that, we will also understand the concepts which are related to the registered office of the company, where the documents would be served, right? And also how does the authentication of the documents and everything take place. So basically, as I said, you have to cover everything from section number 3 till section number 22 in your chapter number 2. Thereafter, see this way. So we'll go in this sequence. Like today, we'll start with section 3, clause 3a. Sorry, we'll start with section 3, 3a. Then we'll do section number 7. Then we'll start with section 8. Then we'll do section number 9. So once this is done, we are through with incorporation. Then we will pick up memorandum, that is section 4, 5, 6, 13, 14, 15, 17. Then we'll start with section number 20, 21, 22, and at last we'll start with section number 12, 10a, 16, 18, and 19. Although we should start section 10A here itself, right? So we'll do section 10A here. I'll keep it here. So we'll do section number 10A here. We'll not do it here. We'll do it here. And this is what is going to be. So I hope now you have a clear idea कि हम कैसे पढ़ने वाले हैं. मॉड्यूल हमारा बेस रहेगा, बट कंटेंट हो सकता है हमारा मॉड्यूल के हिसाब से नहीं हो. हम चलेंगे बिल्कुल मॉड्यूल के सीक्वेंस में, बट मॉड्यूल के हिसाब से कंटेंट हमारा यहाँ पे नहीं होगा. So let's start with. So this is where I say that how a company can be incorporated. So this is basically your section number 3 and this is your subsection 2. Okay. So this is your section number 3 subsection 2. So what does it say? It says that a company can be formed under subsection 1, right? It can be either a company limited by shares, or it can be a company limited by guarantee, or the company can be an unlimited company. So broadly, how many types of companies are there, or how many types of companies you can incorporate? You can incorporate the company which is limited by shares, or it can be limited by guarantee, or it can be an unlimited company. So broadly, there are only three types of company. Then we will have a subset that when the company is limited by shares, then we'll say it's a public company, private company. So all those things we are going to discuss. But broadly, if you say there are only this limited by shares, limited by guarantee, or it is going to be an unlimited company. Thereafter, if you see for the formation of the company, so company broadly divided into two categories. One is private company, another is public company. So as I said, the public company can be limited by shares, it can be limited by guarantee, with capital, without share capital, unlimited company with capital, without capital. Similarly, if you see a private company, it can be limited by shares, limited by guarantee, or unlimited company with capital or without capital. Okay. So this is something which is very, very basic, right? So let's go ahead and discuss the next slide. So this is your section number 3. So what does it say? It reads out something like this, that a company, which company, which company we are talking about? Which company it is talking about? A company. Which company it is talking about? When it says a company may be formed. So which company it is talking about? Public company, private company, which company? All. Okay. So it is talking about this. So a company. So a company can be limited by shares. Company limit can be limited by guarantee, or an unlimited company. Right? No, Vinith. It is not incorporated under this act because we are discussing about the incorporation of company only. It says that a company may be formed. Okay. So of course the company will be formed in this Companies Act, and this can be the type of company. Either the company can be limited by shares, or it can be limited by guarantee, or it can be an unlimited company. Guys, do you understand? You see, and how I am sure that it is talking about these three company, because subsection 2 says this: a company formed under subsection 1 may be either. Got it? So a company may be formed for any lawful purpose. Very, very important. A company can be formed only for a lawful purpose. Can I form a company for any unlawful purpose? Answer is no. Then what is lawful purpose? What is lawful purpose? What is unlawful purpose? Or what if I say the purpose is not lawful? Then what is going to happen? Illegal activities. Okay. So if the purpose is unlawful, what will happen? You are saying prohibited by law. Okay. What else? Something you have already studied in your CA foundation, I'm sure. If the purpose of the sorry, if the purpose of the company is unlawful, then something triggers. What? Something will trigger. I'm sure if I use that word, you'll say, yes, sir, हमें पता था. If the purpose is unlawful. Very good, Muskan. Very good. Correct, Dhaval. Corporate wheel. Okay. The corporate wheel will be lifted. Okay. If the purpose is unlawful, then the corporate wheel is going to be lifted. Right from Salomon versus Salomon to Dinshaw Manekji Petit. Any case you pick up. If the purpose is unlawful, then the corporate wheel would be lifted. Then it says that a company may be formed for any lawful purpose by 7 or more person where the company is to be formed a public company, 2 or more person where the company is to be formed as a private company, or 1 person where the company is to be formed as a OPC. Now, if you read section 3 subsection 1 ABC and you read section 3 subsection 2 ABC, उन दोनों को अगर आप क्लब कर दो तो आपका ये वाला चार्ट बन जाएगा. Yes or no? Yes or no? So you can form a public company, you can form a private company, you can also form a OPC, which can be limited by shares, limited by guarantee, or unlimited company. Correct? Okay. Then how can the company be formed by these 7 person, these 2 people, this 1 person? It is by subscribing their name or his name. Why his name? OPC. Why their name? Plural. 2 or 7. And one name? OPC. To the memorandum and complying with the requirements in the act in respect of registration. So to incorporate a company, you need how much? To incorporate a company, a public company, you need how much? You need minimum of 7%. Incorporate a private company, you need 2%. To incorporate a OPC, you need 1%. And what they are going to do? They are going to subscribe the memorandum of association, plus they are only going to comply with the registration requirements. Okay, is this clear? Let's go ahead. We have proviso. Now whatever proviso you have, this proviso is only for the OPC. Okay, provided that, provided that, provided further that, provided also that, right? Provided also that, provided also that. So just see, at first what do you use? At first we say this is the first proviso, which says provided that. Then it is the second proviso, provided further that. Then you have the third proviso, provided also that. And thereafter you only have this language, provided also that, provided also that. Okay. So what does this say? Provided that the memorandum of one person company shall indicate the name of the other person, right? So in case of OPC, the name of the other person should be there with his prior written consent. Now you see the consent should not be oral, it should be a written consent in the prescribed form. Who shall, now what is the use of this person? Who shall, in the event of subscriber's death or his incapacity to the contract. How does the person become incapacitated to the contract? How can you say that person, how can you say the person is incapacitated to the contract? Contract Act. Okay, Contract Act. Never forget what you read in foundation. Unsound mind, right? Lunatic, barred by the law, right? So Contract Act. So if the person on the subscriber, in the event of the subscriber's death or his incapacity to the contract, become the member of the company, and the written consent of such person shall also be filed with the registrar at the time of incorporation of the one person company along with the memorandum and the articles. So if it's not a one person company, then this is not needed. But if it's a one person company, then in that case, you need one other person who is going to be the person in that OPC handling the company. In case the subscriber who is originally incorporating the OPC is died or becomes incapacitated to the contract. No, Ronak. Section 10 discusses about the essential elements of the contract. Correct. It's section 11. Okay. Right. Let's discuss now. Provided further that such other person may withdraw his consent in such manner as may be prescribed. So if the person want, the person can also withdraw his consent and say that no, I am no longer interested to be the one person, the basically the nominee, name of the other person. So basically I write here nominee. The other person can say I no longer want to be the nominee. Then provided also that the member of a one person company may also change. So this says that the nominee can withdraw the consent. This says the one person can also change the name, right? By giving prior notice to such person. And then provided also that it shall be duty of the member of the OPC to intimate the company if if any change is being made with respect to the person who is named into the nominee, and that should not be considered if you alter the memorandum of association where you have to just change the name of this nominee, that will not be considered as an alteration of memorandum. Now why this is important, we'll discuss this in the coming lectures, that whenever you are going to alter the memorandum of association, that will require a special resolution. We have a specific process which is to be followed, right? To amend the articles of association, to change the articles of association, you need to pass the special resolution. To amend the memorandum of association, you have a altogether separate process which you need to comply. But when we discuss that in case of OPC, you want to change the name of the nominee, because the name of this nominee is also mentioned in the memorandum of association. So if you want to change the name of this nominee, or the nominee withdraws his consent, in that case, if you are doing any change or any alteration in the memorandum of association for the Companies Act purpose, it will be deemed that there is no alteration done, even though you are changing. But Companies Act is saying that no, will believe that no, there is no alteration. Now, what Companies Act is actually trying to say, that you don't need to comply with that strict procedure of the alteration of memorandum. Do you understand? आप एक्चुअल में तो मेमोरेंडम ऑफ एसोसिएशन में चेंज कर रहे हो, जो भी नॉमिनी का नाम है आप उसको चेंज कर रहे हो सकता है आप खुद उस नॉमिनी को हटा रहे हो, या फिर नॉमिनी अपना कंसेंट को विड्रॉ कर रहा है। इन बोथ द केस आप नॉमिनी के नाम को अगर रिप्लेस करोगे किसी और के साथ, तो मेमोरेंडम में डेफिनेटली कोई ना कोई ऑल्टरेशन होगा। बट अगर आप सिर्फ नॉमिनी का ही नाम चेंज कर रहे हो, तो कंपनीज एक्ट ऐसा बोलता है नहीं नहीं, हम उसको यहाँ पे ऑल्टरेशन नहीं मानते। इट इज एब्सोल्युटली फाइन अगर आप उसको चेंज करते हो, उसके नाम को चेंज करते हो और अपने मेमोरेंडम को ऑल्टर करते हो, तो हम तो यही मानेंगे कि आपने मेमोरेंडम में कोई भी ऑल्टरेशन नहीं किया। ना कंपनीज एक्ट ऐसा क्यों बोल रहा है? द सोल रीजन इज दैट कंपनीज एक्ट डू नॉट वांट that when you change the name of the nominee and alter the memorandum, you go through that same the detailed process। आपको वो उतना डिटेल प्रोसेस में जाने का जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज आप सिर्फ नॉमिनी का ही नाम चेंज कर रहे हो। that will be deemed to be not a alteration of the memorandum. Now tell me, is this point clear or not? Is this point clear or not? Is this point clear? Pakka? Okay. Let's see. Then we have section 3A. So section 3A को अलग से insert किया गया, right? और ये insert हुआ 2018 में, right? So this is, आपको ये date याद रखना है सर? नो, ये सब dates हमें याद नहीं रखना, ठीक है? 9th Feb 2018. This I am telling you for your knowledge purpose, right? So from 9th Feb 2018. By the way, just remember Companies Amendment Act of 2017. इसमें बहुत सारे changes आ गए थे Companies Act में. It got lot of changes in the Companies Act. So that's therefore you'll find so many sections which have been introduced or changed after the Companies Amendment Act 2017. Anyway, so what does section 3A say? It says that if at any time the number of members of a company is reduced, let's say in case of public company it goes below 7, or in case of private company it goes below 2, and the company, so there is two condition. One is what? The number of members is reduced below 7 or below 2, and the company carries on the business for more than 6 months while the number of members is so reduced. So the number of members is reduced below 7, below 2, and the company still continues to do the business. Up to 6 months there is no problem, but now the company has carried on the business for more than 6 months. Then what is going to happen? Every person who is the member of the company during the time that it so carries the business after 6 months, right? And is cognizant of the fact. What do you mean by cognizant of the fact? That you are aware of this fact. Okay, you're aware of this fact that it is carrying on the business with less than 7 or 2 members, as the case may be in case of a public or a private company. Then all such person, they shall be severally liable for the payments of the whole of the debts of the company contracted during that time, and may be severally sued therefore. So this puts a restriction, right? This puts a restriction where they say that if, or in the event of, number of members gets reduced. So what is the precondition? One is that the number of members is reduced below 7 or 2. What is the second condition? The company continues to do business. Then you can say up to 6 months there is no problem, or up to 6 months there is no liability. There is no liability which is imposed. But beyond 6 months, what will happen? All the remaining members, their liability becomes unlimited. I hope this makes sense. Guys, clear? And this becomes unlimited for which debts? With respect to the debts which is incurred by the company. Guys, this is clear? Okay. This can be a exam question. सर आप बोलो पहले रहे हो और लिख बाद में रहे हो. Okay, I couldn't understand. Okay, so that could be due to the network error. Okay, that could be due to the network error. That's fine. But overall, you got the content. Overall, you got the content. Okay, let's go ahead and then see the next. So we have is section number 7, which is actually with respect to the incorporation of company. So what does section 7 says? Section 7 says that there shall be filed with the registrar within whose jurisdiction the registered office of the company is proposed to be situated. So just remember where we started our lecture yesterday. If you remember where we started our lecture yesterday, we started with the definition of registrar, right? Let me take you back. Yep. So we started with the definition of registrar. So remember I said you need to see where your registered office is. Depending on where your registered office is, you are going to decide which ROC has the jurisdiction over that area. And that's how you are going to contact to that ROC. Yes or no? We discussed this. The same thing you will find it in section number 7 here, where it says there shall be filed with the registrar, okay, the ROC, within whose jurisdiction the registered office of the company is proposed to be situated, the following documents for the registration, namely. Now, how will you contact to ROC? How about what you are going to file? So for this, you have the incorporation rules, and the rule says that an application for the registration of the company shall be filed with the registrar within whose jurisdiction the registered office of the company is proposed to be situated. In which form? In SPICE plus form. Okay. What is SPICE? Full form of SPICE? Simplified pro forma for incorporating company electronically plus. There is INC 32, incorporation 32, along with the fees as provided in the company's registration office and fees rules. Also, it says that provided, now just see this. So which is the incorporation form? Now do you understand what is the incorporation form? Incorporation form is SPICE plus. So we have another provision which says that provided in case of pursuing any of the objects of a company which requires registration or the approval from the sectoral regulators such as Reserve Bank of India, Securities Exchange Board of India, any registration or approval as the case may be from such a regulator, so that shall be obtained by the proposed company. Now the word that they have used is what? It is proposed company. So this registration has to be obtained, or the approval needs to be obtained before incorporating the company and not after. Okay. So it shall be obtained by the proposed company before pursuing such objects, and a declaration in this behalf shall be submitted at the stage of incorporation of the company. So what does this mean? Let's say you want to become a broker. Now, broker requires registration with, broker will require stockbroker. A stockbroker will require registration with SEBI. Okay. Same way I say you want to become, let's say, a bank. Now bank would require your prior approval from the Reserve Bank of India. So before you incorporate a company for the broking business, okay, before you incorporate the company for the broking business or for the banking business, what you need to do, you have to obtain the prior approval. आपको पहले अप्रूवल लेके आना होगा, उसी के बाद आप इनकॉर्पोरेशन की बात कर सकते हो. बताइए, is this clear? Is this clear? Guys, is this clear? Okay, let's go ahead. Now, ये तो देखो रूल में था, ये जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स एंड इंफॉर्मेशन था ना, ये इसके साथ कनेक्टेड था, रूल 12। अब हम यहाँ पे पढ़ रहे हैं सबसेक्शन 1। सो वी हैव सेक्शन 7 सबसेक्शन 1 क्लॉज ए। ठीक है, इट सेज दैट what all documents and informations will be submitted to the ROC. You will have to submit the memorandum of association and the articles of association of the company, which will be duly signed by all subscribers to the memorandum. Okay, then again a declaration will be needed. Now this declaration will be needed from a professional. Okay, this declaration is needed from a professional who can be an advocate or a chartered accountant or a cost accountant, or that can be a company secretary in practice, right, who is engaged in the formation of the company, and also by a person. So declaration that is needed is twice. One, as I said, from the professional, and then again by a person whose name is mentioned in the articles as the director, manager, or the secretary of the company. Now just remember, who can become the director of the company, who can become the manager of the company, or who can become the secretary of the company. The first director, first manager, or first secretary, the person whose name is mentioned in the articles of association, right? This is a very common question which you will get when we study audit. I will again tell you that the articles, the first director of the company can be appointed through the articles of association. Answer is true. Can the first auditor be appointed through the articles of association of the company? Answer is false. You cannot appoint the first auditor by articles of association, but you can appoint the first director or the first company secretary, right? Secretary of the company or the manager of the company through the articles of association. So one declaration would be needed from this professional and the other declaration would be needed from the person who will be mentioned as the director, manager, or secretary of the company. And what this declaration is all about, that all the requirements of this act and the rules have been made with respect to the, I mean, you have complied with all the rules and the act which is applicable with respect to the registration and all the matters which are precedent or incidental thereto. You have complied with that, right? So you need to send to ROC Spice Plus form. Also, in that Splice Plus form, you will have to send your memorandum of association, your articles of association. This memorandum and articles of association should be duly signed by all the subscribers of the memorandum. Then a declaration would be submitted. There will be a declaration by the professional, and then there will be a declaration by the first directors of the company. What this declaration is all about, that all the requirements of this act with respect to the registration of the company, it has been complied with, right? Then one more declaration will be sent, right? So this declaration will be given from each of the subscriber to the memorandum and from the person who is named as the first director, if any, right, that they are not convicted of any offense in connection with the promotion, formation, or management of any company, and also that they have not been found guilty of any fraud or misfeasance or breach of duty to any company under this act or the previous company law anytime during the preceding 5 years, and also that all the documents that have been filed to the registrar for the registration of the company contains all the information which is correct, complete, and true to the best of their knowledge and belief. So now do you understand? One declaration by the professional that the requirements with respect to registration is complied with. The second declaration is by the first director, that again the requirements with respect to the registration is complied with. Then the declaration will be given by each of the subscribers. So public company, all 7, private company, both the subscribers, right? That they are not convicted of any offense with respect to the promotion formation of the company. Also, they have not been found guilty of any fraud or misfeasance or breach of duty with respect to any company under this act during the preceding 5 years. And also the documents that you have filed to ROC contains all complete, correct and true information to the best of their knowledge and belief. Guys, this is clear. Guys, this is clear. Declaration number 1 by professional, declaration 2 by the first director, and declaration 3 by all the subscribers to the memorandum. Okay. So why these declarations are taken? Why are these declarations taken? क्या होगा ये declaration लेके? क्यों लेते हैं ये declaration? हम क्यों लेते हैं ये declaration? What is the use? क्या फायदा होगा? क्या फायदा होगा declaration का? Like why ROC is taking this declaration? So that tomorrow when you have to lift the corporate wheel, remember? Tomorrow when you have to lift the corporate wheel, remember this, if any unlawful company is found for any unlawful purpose, corporate wheel will be lifted. But after lifting up of the corporate wheel, who will be catch hold of? It is these subscribers and that professional, right? So future में कुछ Vineet has written, future में कुछ हुआ तो लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स के लिए, तो फ्यूचर में लीगल प्रोसीडिंग में क्या गड़बड़ हो रहा है? सो बेसिकली दे आर इंश्योरिंग दैट सेक्शन 3 करेक्ट if in future ROC found something wrong with respect to the incorporation of the company, then in that case these people will be taken into the custody, right? Not technically custody, that they'll be put into jail, but they will be the person who will be liable to all sorts of penalties and whatever consequences which are there if you provide or if you incorporate a company which is for unlawful purpose. Okay, is this clear? आप कनेक्ट कर पाए आप सेक्शन 3 और सेक्शन 7 को? ठीक है, चलिए लेट्स गो बैक टू सेक्शन नंबर 7 और हम सेक्शन 7 में देखते हैं इसके अलावा आपको और क्या क्या कंपनी को बताना, मतलब आरओसी को बताना है. You have to tell you where your registered office is going to be. Now till that time your registered office is not established, where to contact you? You have filed all the informations to ROC. Now if ROC wants to contact you, till that time your registered office is not ready, where ROC is going to contact you? So that is your address for correspondence, and then also the particulars of the name including surname or the family name, the residential address, nationality, and such other particulars of every subscriber. So you will mention who are there, what's their name, what's their residential address, okay, and what is their nationality, along with the proof of identity. And also if it's a the subscriber is a body corporate, then they will also have to provide their certificate of incorporation. So proof of identity आपको यहाँ पर बताना पड़ेगा, right? कि कौन कौन है. तो ये क्यों आ रहा है? So that you don't have a fictitious name here, right? मैंने बोला है किसी ने सोनू मोनू ने मिलके एक कंपनी बनाई. Now who is Sonu, who is Monu? You need to provide the identity. Got it? So आप उनका वो आधार कार्ड, पैन कार्ड, राइट, ये आप वहां पर सबमिट करोगे. और पासपोर्ट, इलेक्शन कमीशन कार्ड you will provide, and you will actually say that these Sonu Monu are not fictitious people, they are actually a real person. So you'll provide that also. Apart from that, you will also have to provide the particulars of the person who is mentioned in the articles of association as the first director of the company. So you'll have to mention who are the first director, again all the information including their name and the surname, also the director identification number. So what is director identification number? Basically this is a unique number which every director needs to obtain before he or she becomes or joins the company as a director of the company. Okay, before the person joins the board, the person needs to obtain the director identification number. One DIN number is valid throughout. If you want to become director in 10 companies, there is no problem. All you need is one director identification number. So you need to provide that DIN, that whosoever is named as the first director of the company, the DIN is being obtained. Then also the residential address of the company, the residential address of the first directors, what is their nationality, right? and along with their proof of identity. Okay. Now tell me, can you make a body corporate as your director of the company? Because if you see in point number E, they have said that particulars of the name, including surname, residential address, nationality of every subscriber to the memorandum, along with the proof of identity. And in case of subscriber being body corporate, such particulars as may be prescribed. Okay. But if you see point number F, where it says that the particulars of the person mentioned in the articles as the first director of the company, their names and surname, including surname or family name, director identification number, residential address, nationality, and such other particulars, including the proof of identity. So if you see, it is only talking about the individual. It is not talking about the body corporate. So can a body corporate be the director of the company? Can a body corporate become the director of a company? Answer is no. Which section says so? Which section says so that a person who is appointed as the director of the company should be an individual? It is section 149. Okay. याद रखना, सेक्शन 149 मैंडेट करता है कि कंपनी का डायरेक्टर कौन होगा, इंडिविजुअल ही. Right, so just see, only individuals will be directors. और इसीलिए यहाँ पे बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट के बारे में कुछ नहीं लिखा, ओनली इंडिविजुअल्स विल बी डायरेक्टर. और ये बात कौन बोलता है? सेक्शन 149 सबसेक्शन 1. दैट्स व्हाई दे से दैट द पर्टिकुलर्स ऑफ ओनली द इंडिविजुअल्स विल बी देयर. और जो भी डायरेक्टर यहाँ पे डायरेक्टर बनेगा उसके पहले उसको क्या चाहिए? डिन इज मैंडेटरी. अगर आपके पास डिन नहीं है तो क्या होगा? नाउ टेल मी, लेट्स से मैं मुस्कान और सलोनी दोनों को एक कंपनी का डायरेक्टर बनाना चाहता हूँ. आई एम इनकॉर्पोरेटिंग अ न्यू कंपनी वेयर आई वांट मुस्कान एंड सलोनी, both these two girls should become the director of the company. Now these two girls don't have din, both of you don't have din. Now can I make you as the first director of the company? Can I make Saloni and Muskan the first director of the company? Can I make you two as the first director of the company? Answer prima facie looks like no, right? I cannot make both of you as the director of the company. So what will be the process? What will be the process? First is I'll have to obtain, or I'll have to apply for the director identification number for Muskan and Saloni. Once I get the director identification number, only then I will be able to incorporate the company with both of you as the directors. Now this process is again going to take more time. Therefore, now Spice Plus form has the facility that if you want to appoint two persons, in case of a private company, if you want to appoint two persons as the director of the company, the first director of the company, and these people don't have din, these two directors, proposed directors don't have din, you can apply for din simultaneously, okay, along with this spice form. And once you get the certificate of incorporation, simultaneously you will also get the director identification number. Point समझ में आया आपको? तो सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन के साथ में मुझे सलोनी और मुस्कान दोनों का डायरेक्टर आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर भी मिल जाएगा. राइट. सो अब वो वाला प्रोसेस गया कि पहले मैं इन दोनों का डायरेक्टर आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर लूं, उसके बाद कंपनी को इनकॉर्पोरेट करूं. देयर इज नो सच रिक्वायरमेंट. टुडे आई कैन अप्लाई फॉर द इनकॉर्पोरेशन ऑफ द कंपनी, और तब तक मैं क्या करूंगा, मुस्कान और सलोनी दोनों के पैन नंबर से काम चलाते रहूंगा. तो वहां पर जब वो बोलेगा मेरे को स्पाइस फॉर्म को साइन करो, put the director identification number, so it will also give me an option that okay, we know that there is a situation where some of you might become first time the directors of the company and you might incorporate a company without having din. So there is no problem. Apply for the director identification number in the spice form itself. Okay. And with the certificate of incorporation, both of you will also get din number. Till the time you don't get din number, we will use your PAN number and we will sign the form and we will यूज इट फॉर द रेफरेंस। ये पॉइंट आया समझ में आपको? ये पॉइंट आया समझ में? तो पैन नंबर से, और वैसे भी अगर आप डायरेक्टर आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर के लिए अप्लाई करोगे, इररेस्पेक्टिव, लेट्स से कोई कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेट नहीं कर रहे, आपको वैसे ही डायरेक्टर आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर चाहिए, तो आप क्या करोगे, आप पैन नंबर के थ्रू जाओ और अपना डायरेक्टर आइडेंटिफिकेशन नंबर ऑब्टेन कर सकते हो। सो जब तक आपका डेन नहीं आता तब तक पैन नंबर के थ्रू आपका कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेशन का काम चलेगा, और जैसे ही कंपनी इनकॉर्पोरेट हो जाएगा आपको आपका डेन नंबर भी साथ ही में मिल जाएगा। सो ये आपका पूरा ओवरऑल जो टाइम है उसको कम कर देता है। When I incorporated my company, I first had to apply for DIN of my and my sister's DIN. हम दोनों के DIN को मैंने पहले अप्लाई किया, and then I went ahead with the director identification number, and then once I got DIN, then I incorporated the company. But Spice का फॉर्म का यही फायदा है, and that is why it says simplified pro forma. Yes, Ronak, if you want a DIN, you can get it today. There is no problem. All you need to do is apply for the DIN. Through your, if you have a PAN card, you can apply for DIN. There is no problem. Okay. Then let's see the particulars. Yes, absolutely. Even if you don't have an intention to form a company, you can still. So when you will apply for DIN, no one is going to ask you क्यों चाहिए, right? मिनिस्ट्री आके ऐसे नहीं बोलेगा शू छे एटले शू, राइट? ऐसा कुछ नहीं होगा। आपको चाहिए डिन चाहिए, ठीक है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं, जस्ट प्रोवाइड पैन। सेम वे when like you apply for PAN number today, even if you are not earning let's say the amount of, you know, your income is not that you have to pay tax. Let's say आप 2 लाख रुपए कमा रहे हो साल का, या आप कोई भी इनकम अर्न नहीं कर रहे, क्या आप पैन कार्ड के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हो? आंसर इज यस। सो अप्लाइंग फॉर पैन नंबर इज नॉट contingent upon you filing the income tax return or you earning a taxable income. You can apply for PAN number otherwise also, but yes, if you want to file your income tax return, then PAN is mandatory. Okay, same way, if you want a director identification number, you can obtain the director identification number, but if you have director identification number, that does not mean that you have to be a director in a company. But if you want to be a director in a company, you need director identification number. आया समझ में? Simple. चलिए आगे देखते हैं। Then what is the next particular which you need to submit? You need to submit the particulars of the interest of the person who are mentioned as the first director of the company in other firms. So if these people are also director in some other firm, in other LLPs, right, partnership LLP and other body corporates, along with their consent to act as the director in the company in such form as may be prescribed. So let's say I want to appoint Dhaval as the director, first director in my company. Dhaval will also have to give a declaration that is Dhaval a director in some other company or not. Dhaval is already a director of ABC Limited, and now he wants to be, or he is being proposed to be, the first director in XYZ Limited. So while giving his consent for XYZ Limited, he will also provide that he is already a director in ABC Limited. So आपको ये भी declarations यहाँ पे देना होगा। उसके बाद में रजिस्ट्रार क्या करेगा, रजिस्ट्रार जितने भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स आपने सबमिट किए ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ all the documents and informations which are received, ROC is going to register all the documents, okay, and after that it is going to issue the certificate of incorporation. Guys, this is clear? You'll get your certificate of incorporation to that effect, right, to the effect that the proposed name of the company is incorporated in the act. So by whatever name you have incorporated the company, right, जिस भी नाम से आपने incorporate किया, आपके certificate of incorporation पे उस company का नाम आ जाएगा, and then we will say this company is incorporated in the Companies Act, right, or this is registered under the Companies Act. Guys, this is clear? Then they say that on and from the date mentioned in the certificate of incorporation, which is issued under subsection 2, the registrar shall allot to the company a corporate identification number. So as I said, like if you want to be a director of a company, you need to have a director identification number. You will have a unique director identification number. Similarly, if you want to be the director, right? Similarly, if you want to be the director, in that case, if you want to incorporate a company, once you get your certificate of incorporation, you will also get this unique code, unique number, which is called as the corporate identity number, CIN number, okay, which shall be a distinct identity for the company. आप देखो आपका registration number जो है, आपका ICAI के साथ जो registration number है, वो NRO हो सकता है, वो WRO हो सकता है, SRO हो सकता है, ठीक है, ERO हो सकता है। तो जो भी आपका registration number है, that is a unique number for you. Same way, the corporate identity number for the company is going to be the distinct identity of the company, और वो उस कंपनी के सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन के अंदर इंक्लूडेड होगा, उसमें लिखा हुआ रहेगा। गाइस, इज दिस क्लियर? इज दिस क्लियर? आप बिल्कुल ऐसे समझो, व्हेन यू वर born, ओके, व्हेन यू वर born, आपके फैमिली मेंबर्स ने बोल दिया मेरा बच्चा सीए बनेगा, और आपको आईसीआई के साथ रजिस्टर कर दिया। सो इधर बीएमसी की तरफ से आपको बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट मिला, और उधर से सीए इंस्टीट्यूट ने आपको एक आपका WRO नंबर दे दिया, तो यूनिक नंबर आपका रह गया। तो आपके बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट में आपका WRO नंबर लिखा हुआ है। इट्स लाइक दैट, understand? So this will be mentioned in the certificate of incorporation. Then you see, the company shall maintain and preserve at its registered office all the documents and informations as originally filed under subsection 1 till its dissolution under the act. So आपने जो भी information ROC को provide किया था for the incorporation of the company, you need to mention each, you need to keep all those documents, right, in the registered office. आपके वो registered office के अंदर रहना चाहिए. It has to be maintained at the registered office. जब भी ROC आए इंस्पेक्शन के लिए और वो बोले हमें आपके इनकॉर्पोरेशन के डॉक्यूमेंट्स को देखना है, तो यू कैन नॉट से वो तो आपको मैंने फाइल किया था, प्लीज चेक योर ओन रिकॉर्ड्स। they want to, and if you don't have, that will be violation of section 7 subsection 4. Got it, guys? Clear? Is this clear? Right? So these documents are to be maintained at the registered office of the company. And then we have the last subsection 5. And what does subsection 5 says? Subsection 5 says that, last means last is for this particular slide. Subsection 5 says that if you provide any false or incorrect particulars, any information, or you try to suppress any material information. Now, a very classic example I can give you. When we do audit, okay, as a chartered accountant, I'm telling you, when you do audit, or as a company secretary, when we do secretarial audit, or any kind of investigation you are doing, or any audit, any type of audit you do, due diligence, you see for two things. Now we have, one is you have provided false or incorrect particulars, or we say you have suppressed some information. तो आप दो बातें ध्यान रखना, हम किस इंफॉर्मेशन को बोलते हैं कि वो करेक्ट है, किस इंफॉर्मेशन को हम बोलते हैं वो करेक्ट है। ध्यान रखो, कोई भी बातें झूठी नहीं होनी चाहिए, और कोई भी बातें झूठी नहीं होनी चाहिए, ठीक है? सो जस्ट सी, लेट्स प्रिज्यूम फ्रॉम माय independent practice I get 1 lakh rupees, okay? From my YouTube channel, let's presume I get 1 lakh rupees. Don't get judgmental, I don't get it, okay? And from my CA classes that I teach, I get 1 lakh rupees. From my CS classes, I get 1 lakh rupees. And when I teach to LLM students, okay, at college, I again get 1 lakh rupees, okay? So my total income is what? My total income is only 5 lakh rupees. Is this clear? Right? Now, if I say, dude, you know, what is my earning? I earn 50 lakh rupees. Is this incorrect? Is this incorrect? This is actual. And this is what I declare. So this is what, this is incorrect. Why this is incorrect? Because I have overstated the amount. मैंने झूठ बोल दिया। कोई भी बातें झूठी नहीं होनी चाहिए, ये तो झूठी बात हो गई। नेक्स्ट आई से, you know, I earn from my practice 1 lakh rupees. When I teach to CA students, I get 1 lakh rupees. When I teach to CS students, I get 1 lakh rupees. My total income is 3 lakh rupees. Either when I say 3 lakh rupees, this is my income. Is this correct or this is also incorrect? Is this correct or this is also incorrect? When I say I earn only 3 lakh, this is also incorrect. Why this is incorrect? क्या गड़बड़ है इसमें? I have suppressed. Okay. I have suppressed the information. I have understated the facts. मैंने बातों को छुपाया है. तो हम जब बोलते हैं कोई भी बातें झूठी नहीं होनी चाहिए, ये झूठ है, और कोई भी बातें छूटी भी नहीं होनी चाहिए, तो ये छूटी भी बातें हैं कि यहां पर मैंने 2 लाख के इनकम को छुपा दिया, कहीं पर उसको छोड़ दिया. सो बोथ आर इनकरेक्ट. ओके, राइट. Anyway, you'll be able to correlate with this when you study audit in detail, right? So if you provide any false information, incorrect information, or you try to suppress any material fact of which you are aware of, right, with respect to the registration, you will be liable. The person will be liable for action under section 447. And 447 is what? It is fraud. 447 is fraud. Guys, is this clear? Is this clear? Okay, let's go ahead and read subsection 6. So what does it say? What does it say? It starts with without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 5. इसका क्या मतलब है? What does this mean? Without prejudice to subsection 5. इसका क्या मतलब है? Without prejudice to subsection 5. What does this mean? Without taking, okay, no, incorrect. Prejudice का क्या मतलब होता है? What does the word prejudice means? What does the word prejudice means? In relation? No. Prejudice का मतलब होता है without causing the harm. Okay, without prejudice to the provisions contained in subsection 5. इसका मतलब हो गया that section 5 में जो भी आपके provisions हैं पेनल्टी और के फ्रॉड का प्रोविजन से, अगर आप फॉल्स इंफॉर्मेशन देते हो या कोई इंफॉर्मेशन को सप्रेस करते हो तो आपके अगेंस्ट फ्रॉड का केस तो होगा ही होगा. सो ये तो है ही. इसको कोई इंपैक्ट विदाउट इंपैक्टिंग, यू कैन से दिस वे, विदाउट impacting, okay, without impacting the actions that can be taken under section 7 subsection 5. Now read it this way. Don't read without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 5. Read it this way. Without impacting the actions that can be taken under section 7 subsection 5, where at any time after the incorporation of the company, it is proved that the company has been incorporated by furnishing a false or incorrect information or the representation, by suppressing any material fact or information in relation to any documents or declarations filed or made for incorporating such company, or by any fraudulent action. The promoters and the persons who are named as the first director of the company and the person making the declarations under clause B of subsection 1 shall be liable for action under section 447. Do you understand? Do you understand this section now? Now do you understand वो subscriber से declaration क्यों मांगा था? Why this declaration was being obtained? कि कल को अगर कुछ भी गड़बड़ हुआ तो हम आपको जाके पकड़ेंगे. और वैसे आपको ऐसे ही पढ़ना है, राइट, विदाउट प्रेजुडाइज टू द प्रोविजंस ऑफ सबसेक्शन 5, बट जस्ट फॉर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बिकॉज बेयर एक्ट से दिस इज योर फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट, फर्स्ट टाइम यू आर स्टडिंग लाइक दिस फ्रॉम द बेयर एक्ट. ओके, सो I'll try to make it as simple as for you, but at the end of the day आपको एक चीज ध्यान रखना है कि gradually आपको लेवल वहां पे बढ़ाना है. So just see, without impacting the actions which are provided. तो सेक्शन 5 में, सबसेक्शन 5 में ये केस तो आपके साथ चलेगा ही चलेगा, मतलब फ्रॉड का केस तो आपके ऊपर होगा ही होगा. इसके अलावा मतलब यहां पे भी आपके अगेंस्ट में फ्रॉड का केस स्टार्ट हो सकता है. आ रहा है आपको समझ में, सारे के सारे सब्सक्राइबर्स के ऊपर? इज दिस क्लियर? आप यहां पर देखो, यहां पर क्या बताया हुआ है, वेयर एनी पर्सन हु फर्निशेस द फॉल्स और इनकरेक्ट. सो यहां पर किसके ऊपर लाइबिलिटी है? जो फॉल्स या इनकरेक्ट इंफॉर्मेशन देता है या जो मटेरियल इंफॉर्मेशन को सप्रेस करता है. यहां पर किसके किसके ऊपर आ गया? यहां पर ये पॉइंट आ गया दैट द प्रमोटर्स, see the promoters and the persons who are named as the first director of the company and such persons. So जो कंपनी के प्रमोटर्स है, now who are the promoters of the company? Who are the promoters of the company? हमने डेफिनेशन क्लॉज पढ़ लिया है. सो डोंट से वन हु इनकॉर्पोरेट्स द कंपनी. आप मुझे बताओ, द वन हु इनकॉर्पोरेट्स द कंपनी, इज दैट पर्सन कॉल्ड एज द प्रमोटर एज पर द डेफिनेशन? क्या आप उसको प्रमोटर बोलोगे? क्या आप उसको प्रमोटर बोलोगे? आंसर इज नो. सो लेट्स से मुस्कान एंड सलोनी दोनों ने कंपनी को इनकॉर्पोरेट किया, ठीक है, और ये दोनों कंपनी के फर्स्ट डायरेक्टर्स थे, ठीक है, और ये दोनों ने कंपनी के सब्सक्राइबर्स थे, मेमोरेंडम को सब्सक्राइब किया, दे हैव गिवन ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन. ओके, लेटर ऑन धवल बिकम्स the director of the company, or Dhaval becomes the promoter of the company. Now how can Dhaval become the promoter of the company? Dhaval has been named in the annual return, right? Dhaval has been named as the promoter in the annual return, or let's say Dhaval has been named in the prospectus, or Dhaval is now controlling the company, or let's say Muskan and Saloni both are accustomed to act. Remember, ऐसे ही तो प्रमोटर बनते हैं ना. Muskan and Saloni both are accustomed to act on the directions of Dhaval. So now Dhaval is also the promoter of the company. He was not part of the incorporation. Company got incorporated in, let's say, 2015. He becomes promoter in 2021. And in 2022, we get to know that the information, okay, the information which was provided for incorporating the company was not correct, right? There was a material fact which was suppressed. Now, who all are liable for fraud? Muskan, answer is yes. Saloni, answer is yes, because they were participating, or they were the part of that incorporation process of the company. Was Dhaval participating, or was Dhaval, involved in the incorporation of the company? Answer is no. But still Dhaval के अगेंस्ट भी फ्रॉड का केस चल जाएगा. आया समझ में? ये पॉइंट आया समझ में, राइट? मुस्कान और सलोनी अब कंपनी के डायरेक्टर नहीं रहे. उन्होंने क्या कर दिया? उन्होंने अपनी कंपनी को धवल और यश को बेच दिया. धवल और यश को बेच दिया. मुस्कान और सलोनी तो कंपनी के अब डायरेक्टर्स भी नहीं है, कंपनी के मेंबर्स भी नहीं है. नाउ इट्स ओनली व्हाट वाज एमएस प्राइवेट लिमिटेड इज नाउ डीवाई प्राइवेट लिमिटेड. नाउ टेल मी, will Dhaval and Yash both be liable? So who all will be liable for fraud? You have to say Muskan Saloni, Dhaval Yash, or both, or rather all of them. All four. Fantastic. All four. Okay. So Muskan and Saloni, because they were the first directors. They were the person who had given the declaration. Why? Dhaval and Yash, because they are the promoters of the company. आया समझ में? So before you try to become the promoter of a company, you have to ensure that all these things are clear. So आप किसी कंपनी का प्रमोटर बनना पसंद करोगे? अगर कोई आपको बोले आओ कभी रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस पे, पसंद करोगे डायरेक्टर प्रमोटर बनना किसी कंपनी का? आंसर इज नो, you would not want to. Though it sounds very fancy that you are a promoter of a company, sounds very fancy, but then there are also liabilities which are associated when you become the promoter of a company. Okay, of course अगर पैसा आपका लगा है, मेहनत आपकी है, टाइम आपका लगा है, तो you would say that no, I would want to be the promoter of the company. But yes, from liability point of view, with respect to the non compliance, इन दैट केस यस, प्रमोटर के ऊपर हमेशा तलवार लटकते रहता है, क्योंकि कुछ भी गलत इंफॉर्मेशन हुआ सबसे पहले कौन अंदर जाएगा? प्रमोटर अंदर जाएगा. गाइस, दिस इज क्लियर? इज दिस क्लियर? सबसेक्शन 6. लेट्स गो ahead and see subsection 7. It says that without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 6. My goodness, मतलब मार ही डालोगे, पूछोगे मतलब. अब इसका मतलब आपको दोबारा समझाना है मेरे को. डू आई नीड टू एक्सप्लेन यू दिस अगेन? Do I need to explain you this again? Without prejudice to the provisions of subsection 6? Answer is no. मतलब subsection 5 में तो डंडे पड़ेंगे ही पड़ेंगे, subsection 6 में भी डंडे पड़ेंगे, और अब तो subsection 7 भी आ गया है, राइट? सो यू कैन नॉट से कि subsection 6 में आपने फ्रॉड का केस तो चला दिया, अब कहां subsection 7 में भी मेरे ऊपर आप पेनल्टीज इंपोज कर रहे हो या मेरे को डंडा मार रहे हो? बिकॉज कंपनीज एक्ट खुद ही बोलता है 5 में तो डंडा पड़ेगा ही. अब 5 में डंडा पड़ा, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है 6 में डंडा नहीं पड़ेगा. 6 का डंडा भी आपको पड़ेगा, और 6 का डंडा पड़ा है तो आप ये नहीं बोल सकते 7 में क्यों, 7 का भी डंडा पड़ेगा, राइट? तो सोच समझ के कंपनी को इनकॉर्पोरेट करना. रादर, कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन अगर आप देते हो तो सोच समझ के वो इंफॉर्मेशन देना. कहीं पता चले आपने गलत इंफॉर्मेशन दिया तो आपके लिए फिर प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगा. तो तीन तीन डंडे आपके पास हैं यहाँ पे. तो आप इधर देखो व्हाट इट इज. इट सेज दैट where a company had been has been got incorporated by furnishing any false or incorrect information, representation or suppressing of any material fact, information in any documents or declarations filed, made for incorporating such a company, or by any fraudulent action, the tribunal. My goodness, अब कौन आ रहा है पिक्चर में? अब आ रहा है एनसीएलटी, राइट? एनसीएलटी में on an application made to it and on being satisfied that the situation warrants so. Okay, thank God, थोड़ा सा यहाँ पर आपको रिलीफ दिया है. First of all, it is not say NCLT shall, it says NCLT may, which means it is at the discretion of NCLT whether NCLT wants to pass such order or not. And secondly, कैन एनसीएलटी सुओ मोटो पास द ऑर्डर? सुओ मोटो का क्या मतलब होता है? क्या अपने आप ही एनसीएलटी आके ऑर्डर पास कर देगा? आंसर इज नो. समवन हैज टू मेक अ एप्लीकेशन टू एनसीएलटी दैट सी एनसीएलटी दिस कंपनी वाज इनकॉर्पोरेटेड with this false information, and also NCLT needs to be convinced that yes, such a order needs to be passed. In that case, NCLT will pass such orders as it thinks fit for regulating the management of the company, including any changes, if any, in its memorandum and articles of association in the public interest or in the interest of the company and its members and creditors. So first and foremost, what NCLT can do? NCLT can regulate the मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द कंपनी. हो सकता है डायरेक्टर्स को वहां पे रिमूव कर दिया जाए, राइट? हो सकता है कुछ भी वहां पर हो, वट एवर इज नीडेड. It will regulate the management of the company, how the company will run now. Also, it can make changes in the memorandum and the articles of association of the company, which can be for the public interest or for the interest of the company, members and creditors. Why public interest? If let's say it's a widely held company, right? And there are a lot of stakeholders, then in that case, public interest. Otherwise, in the interest of the company and its members and creditors, or direct that liability of the members shall be unlimited, or direct the removal of the name of the company from the register of the company. So either it can say no, अब कंपनी के जो मेंबर्स हैं उनका लाइबिलिटी अनलिमिटेड, लेकिन सर हमारा कंपनी तो लिमिटेड बाय शेयर्स था, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आपने गलत इंफॉर्मेशन दिया, यू प्रोवाइडेड रॉन्ग इंफॉर्मेशन, नाउ द लाइबिलिटी विल बी अनलिमिटेड. देन डायरेक्ट द रिमूवल ऑफ द नेम ऑफ द कंपनी फ्रॉम द रजिस्ट्रार ऑफ कंपनी, सो आरओसी के वहां से आपका नाम रिमूव हो जाएगा. इट कैन ऑल्सो पास द ऑर्डर फॉर द वाइंडिंग अप ऑफ द कंपनी और पास सच अदर ऑर्डर्स एज इट मे डीम फिट. मतलब एनसीएलटी को कुछ भी लगे वो कुछ भी कर सकता है यहाँ पे. ऑल्सो before passing such order, you will be given what the company will be given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. आप देखो हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, ये हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है, राइट? ये रीजनेबल अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड, दिस इज आवर एक्चुअली constitution. And now you'll say, sir, but this is part of the companies act, how can you say this is part of the constitution? Just see, when Kasab was, you know, held, he was also given a fair trial, yes or no? In fact, we had seen that Ajmal Kasab, we all have seen that video, right, of shooting, right? Ajmal Kasab with the gun roaming around the city, then from the car, we have seen. But still, Ajmal Kasab was also given a fair trial. Why it is a fair trial? Because our constitution says that you should be given a reasonable opportunity of being heard. Okay. Now, sometimes this is good, sometimes it is bad, right? Because some people actually don't deserve a reasonable opportunity of being heard, especially people like uh, Kasab, or you can say people like who were involved in Nirbhaya, right? All these peoples, right? But at the same time, it is also good that we have reasonable opportunity of being heard. Otherwise, things can happen like, the car can meet an accident, right? The person can run away and may die in an encounter. So all those things can happen there, right? So practically you can relate a lot of things, right, without me being saying. But okay, reasonable opportunity of being heard will be given by the tribunal to the company that we have found, or an application is made to the tribunal that you have given these following informations. These were incorrect, these were fraudulent, you have suppressed so many material facts. So what do you have to say? Then, after taking into consideration what all informations have been provided by the company, right? NCLT will take the decision. And also, the tribunal shall take into consideration the transactions which are entered by the company, including the obligations, if any, contracted or paymented any liability. So NCLT is also going to see all the transactions that the company has taken place to actually find out what kind of injury has been caused. Okay. So आप एक सिंपल सी बात देखो, यू रिमेंबर दैट मूवी फिर हेरा फेरी, उसमें आप देखते हो वो गोरीला का केला खा लेता है, तो वो जॉनी लीवर क्या बोलता है, अरे एक केला खा लिया तो मतलब इतना पीछे पड़ेगा क्या? डू यू अंडरस्टैंड? तो ठीक है ना, आई जस्ट हैड वन बनाना, यू आर नाउ आफ्टर माय लाइफ, यू आर थ्रोइंग मी फ्रॉम हियर एंड देयर. सो सेम थिंग गोज हियर, सेम थिंग गोज हियर, दैट यार मतलब ठीक है भाई, एनसीएलटी विल ऑल्सो टेक इन टू कंसिडरेशन कि ठीक है आपने कोई मटेरियल फैक्ट को सप्रेस किया, आपने फॉल्स इंफॉर्मेशन दिया, इट इज फाइन, बट what is the injury which has been caused? What was the intention behind this? What is the injury caused? Let's say the false information was provided but no one had the injury, but just because you have a provision, someone filed an application to NCLT. So it's not that NCLT फिर आपको सीधा फांसी पे लटका देगा. NCLT ये भी चेक करेगा that by providing this false information or by suppressing of this material fact, क्या किसी को कोई नुकसान हुआ क्या? वो नुकसान हुआ उन सब चीजों को देख के फिर वो डिटरमाइन करेगा what should be the liability here. Guys, do you understand now? Right? So if you provide false information, you'll actually become like Johnny Liver, and Companies Act will become like Gorilla. Subsection 5, subsection 6, subsection 7. अरे एक बार गलत इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइड किया, अभी क्या बच्चे की जान लेगा? सबसेक्शन 5 में भी फ्रॉड का केस कर दिया, 6 में भी फ्रॉड का केस कर दिया, और 7 में तो कंपनी को भी बंद कर दिया, लाइबिलिटी अनलिमिटेड बना दिया, वाइंडिंग अप कर दिया, मैनेजमेंट ले लिया, आर्टिकल्स और मेमोरेंडम को अमेंड कर दिया, कुछ भी कर दिया. मतलब worst or the most draconian part is this: pass such other order as it deems fit. मतलब जो मन करे, ठीक है? इस बेचारे की पतलून दो, वो 5 स्टार के एड में जो था, दो बिलान काट दो, राइट? तो मतलब ये क्या, कुछ भी ऑर्डर वहां पे पास हो सकता है. सो ट्राइब्यूनल हैज बीन गिवन दिस लिबर्टी, बट ऑल्सो एट द सेम टाइम ट्राइब्यूनल, यहां पर आप वर्ड देखो क्या यूज किया है, शैल. एक बार रीजनेबल अपॉर्चुनिटी ऑफ बीइंग हर्ड आपको मिलेगा. दूसरा, ट्राइब्यूनल की ये ड्यूटी है कि वो कंसिडर करे क्या क्या ट्रांजैक्शन है जो कंपनी ने एंटर किया और ये सारे इंफॉर्मेशन से क्या नुकसान हो रहा है. अकॉर्डिंगली यू विल बी एबल टू डिटरमाइन व्हाट इज द केस. गाइस, is section 7 clear to you all? Is section 7 clear to you all? Okay. Okay. So can we just quickly revise what is there in section 7? Can we just revise quickly what is there in section 7? So in case you get a short note question, how to incorporate the company or what are the steps to incorporate the company? What is going to be the first step to incorporate the company? What needs to be done? First and foremost, you need to file the application to whom? The application needs to be made to. Now I need your answer, your participation also. So the application needs to be made to whom? You can unmute yourself and answer, or you can write it in the comment section also. Very good. Application needs to be made to the ROC. Now, which ROC? Very good. Registrar ROC. Which ROC? कौन से ROC को दोगे? Right. In which state the RO is concerned state. Okay. Now, instead of writing concerned state or in which state the RO is situated, we'll say which has jurisdiction over the area where proposed registered office will be situated, or the proposed registered office is situated. Now do you understand? यश, नेमिन, आप दोनों ने जो लिखा बोलना वही चाहते हो, बस हमने क्या किया, लैंग्वेज चेंज कर दिया. बात वही, लैंग्वेज नहीं. राइट? और थोड़ा स्टैंडर्ड बन गया. So just remember this. So first and foremost is you need to file the application to ROC. Now which ROC? The ROC which will have the jurisdiction over the area where the proposed registered office will be situated. The application to the ROC will be made in which form? This will be made in which form? Correct. This will be made in Spice Plus. Okay. Then what is going to be step 3? What is going to be step 3? Along with the Spice form, okay, along with the Spice Plus form, you need to provide one more thing. What is that? Okay, declaration is here. Along with the Spice form, you will also have to provide the signed memorandum of association and the signed articles of association. Yes or no? And these declarations will be given. Now, first declaration will be given by a professional. Correct? Declaration will be given by the professional, and also the declaration will be given by the first directors. Yes or no? The declaration will be given by the professional and the declaration will be given by the first directors. What is this declaration for? What is this declaration for? Compliance of the requirements for registration. Okay. Then the second declaration will be given by whom? Then the declaration will be given by whom? Each subscriber of the company. Yes or no? Each subscriber of the company. And why is this declaration given? Why is this declaration given? that the subscriber plus the director. Details given is true. Okay. Details given is true. Apart from that, is there any other declaration that is to be given by them? These subscribers, they are not found guilty. Remember, they are not found guilty. Right. Correct. Or they are not convicted. Right. They are not convicted with respect to offenses for company incorporation. Correct. Or any breach of duty. Correct. Along with that, each subscriber's identity proof will also be given. Okay. What else? Is there any other declaration which will be given? No. These three declaration. Fourth point. What else you are going to provide? अभी तक रजिस्टर्ड ऑफिस स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ है, आपसे बात करें तो किधर? So you will also provide the address for correspondence. Correct. You will provide the address for correspondence. What else? What else? You will provide the details and identity proof. The details and the identity proof of all subscribers plus the first directors. Okay, correct. So what details will be provided? What details you will be provided? Details like name, surname, and address, correct, and nationality. Nationality. Okay, all these informations would be provided. Also, you need to provide what? Director identification number of each director mentioned in the articles of association, who are going to be the first director of the company. Also, if the first directors are also directors at other company. So what is the word? Other company or body corporate? Both. Any other company or body corporate, then they will have to provide, right, plus their consent. So I'll write it here, plus their consent. So once all these things are provided, thereafter the ROC will register the documents. Yes or no? Register the documents and the information which has been provided, and at last you will say the ROC will then register the company. Once the ROC registers the company, what is going to happen? ROC to issue certificate of incorporation. ROC is going to issue the certificate of incorporation, and this certificate of incorporation will contain, correct. Dhaval has again answered it before only. In the certificate of incorporation, it will contain the corporate identity number, right? और मुबारक हो, आपका कंपनी पैदा हो गया. Yes or no? Guys, this is clear. अभी short note on how to incorporate a company याद रहेगा. शॉर्ट नोट ऑन हाउ टू इनकॉर्पोरेट अ कंपनी याद रहेगा. इसके अलावा आप ध्यान रखना, यू ऑल्सो मेंशन, अभी तक हमने सेक्शन 9 पढ़ा नहीं है, बट आई विल टेल यू, राइट इट देयर दैट अपॉन इनकॉर्पोरेशन और अपॉन रिसीविंग द सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन, इसको हम बोलते हैं सीओआई, सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ इनकॉर्पोरेशन, द कंपनी विल बी नाउ considered as what? It will be considered as a considered as a no, not separate. No, वेरी गुड. सेक्शन 9 क्या बोलता है? आर्टिफिशियल लीगल पर्सन, ये सब तो है ही, बट इट विल बी कंसिडर्ड एज अ बॉडी कॉर्पोरेट. ओके, क्लियर हुआ? सो ये आपके स्टेप्स हो गए. नाउ सी, अगर आप ये सेक्शन 9 का ये पॉइंट एग्जाम में लिख के आते हो, ठीक है, सो इवन द एग्जामिनर हैज नॉट आस्क्ड यू, but you have said this information to the examiner in your answer. So basically what happens is this puts a good impression on your examiner that ये बच्चा पूरा डिटेल में पढ़ के आया है, because no one else is going to write this point until and unless the student has actually read section 9, okay, and read it properly, not just a plain reading, actually have understood the concept. That's where you'll get the answer, right? So this is what is for your incorporation of the company. Okay, now we will start with, tomorrow we'll start with the incorporation of a one person company. This we will start tomorrow, and we will also do the incorporation of a section 8 company. So the incorporation part will get complete tomorrow. Tomorrow we will be through with our incorporation part. So if I again take you back to the main index, we'll be through with this leg. कल हमारा ये पार्ट पूरा कंप्लीट हो जाएगा, and then we will immediately start with the memorandum and the articles of association. So as I said, कुछ 3 से 4 लेक्चर्स मुझे इसमें लगेंगे आज के लेक्चर के बाद. So we'll see कितने लगते हैं, but that's again not a matter of concern, because जितने भी लेक्चर्स लगे, जो भी टाइम लगे, we have to understand each and everything in detail, और इसी तरह से चीजों को कॉन्क्रीट करके दिमाग में पढ़ना है. Now one small request to all of you, please revise whatever we have studied today, and do let me know if there is any doubt. So before I start recording of your lectures, we have that doubt session. So वहां पे जो भी doubt हो, please feel free to ask me. You can also drop me a WhatsApp before the lecture, so that when I start the lecture, I take that doubt beforehand, and then we go ahead with the provisions, right? So till then, take care. Bye bye. Happy learning.